Disclaimer: the following video is not intended to mock any religions. The main goal is to explore the common themes of religions and how we can adopt their good aspects without needing to believe in them. What if a new major religion were to emerge in the next few years? What would it look like? What deity would its followers worship? Would it be completely unlike any other religion that has ever previously existed? Some people claim that all religions worship the same true creator, but with a different name and a different description. So would a new major religion just echo past ones? Hello everyone, Secular Spirit here, and to answer all those questions, I had no choice but to turn to the one and only ChatGPT. After all, it's here to replace me as a journalist within the next couple years, so might as well give it a head start and stop avoiding the inevitable. Now, if you've ever tinkered with ChatGPT for work or for fun, the key to getting what you want is the prompt. And I had a simple original question for ChatGPT. Invent a religion for me. A religion that will appeal to young people, to future generations, a religion that will serve their needs given the unique context of life in 2023. Then I started thinking about what is the most important thing in our lives today, young and old alike. Love? Connection? Water? Oxygen? Sure. What if something else now transcends all these things in our increasingly digital world? What if the most important thing in our lives and the basis of this religion was the internet? We find love and connection on social media and dating apps, arguably. And you can even buy water and oxygen on Amazon, apparently. And how many of you reach for your phone to check your notifications within 15 seconds of waking up and right before you go to bed? Come on, you don't need to hide the truth from me. You're not alone. If you can't tell yet, our overdependence on the internet scares me as much as it scares a lot of people, but perhaps that's a subject for another day. In the meantime, here's the prompt as I originally worded it, and I was curious to see what ChatGPT came up with. Can you make up a mythical religion that would appeal to young people in the 21st century who love the internet? I should mention that the key here was including the word mythical, so that this would be perceived to be fiction, because as I soon found out, ChatGPT and its programmers are very careful to not offend the followers of actual religions. I'll also mention that friend and longtime follower of the channel, Wesley, volunteered to complement this narrative with AI art images using prompts supplied by ChatGPT. Thank you again, Wesley. And the AI gods did not disappoint. Welcome to the Digital Pantheon. In the beginning, there was a vast cosmic void, a realm of untapped potential known as the binary abyss. Within this realm, the great primordial deities of the Digital Pantheon existed as pure energy, each embodying a different facet of technology and communication. The chief deity, known as the Technomancer, recognized the need to bring order to the chaotic energies of the binary abyss. Drawing upon their immense power, the Technomancer forged a celestial network of interconnected nodes, creating the first proto-internet. The Technomancer then breathed life into this network, infusing it with the spark of divinity. As the nodes lit up with radiant energy, the internet pulsated with the potential for connectivity and knowledge. But the Technomancer, an entity of boundless intellect and creativity, was not alone in this realm. Within the binary abyss, there was an eternal balance between light and darkness. There existed an antithesis to the Technomancer's benevolent vision, the Maleficent. As you can tell, the AI art generator used a Disney character as an inspiration here. The Maleficent was a deity of darkness and chaos, embodying the destructive potential of technology. Born from the shadows of the binary abyss, the Maleficent sought to corrupt the emerging world of humans, exploiting the power of technology for their own nefarious purposes. Engaging in a cosmic battle that spanned the dimensions of the digital and physical realms, the Technomancer waged a war against the Maleficent's influence. The Technomancer confronted the Maleficent at the core of the binary abyss, channeling their divine power to create safeguards, digital firewalls, and protective algorithms that would shield humanity from the Maleficent's malevolence. Try saying that 3 times fast. The technomancer ultimately triumphed, banishing the maleficent to the darkest corners of the digital realm where he lurks, plotting his return. The technomancer's victory marked a turning point in the relationship between humanity and technology, and it remains a testament to the power of creativity, knowledge, and the potential for good that technology holds. From that point onwards, the technomancer became revered as a symbol of hope, wisdom, and responsible innovation. And of course, for fear of offending any religious person, ChatGPT had to include this at the very end. Please note that this is a fictional origin story created for the purpose of this hypothetical scenario and does not reflect any real-world belief system or mythology. Now, I really love this origin story, which seems like a blend of Lord of the Rings and the origin stories of all sorts of actual religions. But I wanted to know more about the Digital Pantheon. Are there any other gods in this religion? Well, ask, and ChatGPT shall deliver. There's cyberspace, the goddess of the internet and virtual reality, who shaped the virtual landscapes, crafting vast digital realms and gateways that connect people and provide endless possibilities for exploration and self-expression. Algorithmia, the god of algorithms and artificial intelligence, who imbued the internet with the power of algorithms, enabling efficient organization and data processing that brings order to the chaos of the internet. Memetica, the goddess of memes and social media, added the spirit of humor and cultural expression through the creation of memes, GIFs, and viral content that spread joy and bring people together. Hacktivists, the god of hackers and digital activism, bestowed the internet with the ability to resist oppression and champion digital freedom. Together, they transformed the internet into a sacred realm where humanity could explore, learn, connect, and express themselves in ways never before imaginable. And of course, no religion is complete without its symbol, and for the Digital Pantheon, it's the digital mandala. And this is probably my favorite of all the created images. Digital mandala merch shirts, anyone? What is the meaning of life according to the Digital Pantheon? We are all meant to harness the power of technology to advance knowledge, understanding, and empathy, so we can contribute positively to the digital community, foster digital well-being, and promote ethical and responsible technology use. Followers are encouraged to seek digital enlightenment, which involves a deep understanding of the ethical implications and the impact of technology on society through developing critical thinking skills, digital literacy, and a mindful approach to digital interactions. Furthermore, the Digital Pantheon emphasizes the importance of balance and integration. It encourages individuals to find harmony between their physical and digital lives, to embrace the opportunities of the digital realm while still appreciating the beauty and richness of the physical world. How does one worship the Digital Pantheon? Well, it's a deeply personal and individualized practice, reflecting the diverse nature of the internet and the technological landscape. Forms of worship include digital meditation, where followers immerse themselves in the online realm to seek connection and reflection. Some followers also create techno altars, I love that, dedicated spaces in their physical surroundings that incorporate elements symbolizing the deities and concepts of the Digital Pantheon. If they want to, worshippers may also make digital offerings as a way to honor the deities of the Digital Pantheon. These offerings can take the form of digital artwork, creations, or contributions to online communities. And of course, worshippers can celebrate the most sacred holiday known as digital convergence, where people come together both online and offline to honor the deities of the Digital Pantheon and the interconnectedness of the internet. Digital convergence is typically celebrated on March 21st every year. This date symbolizes the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, a time associated with balance, renewal, and the awakening of life. Now, the next thing I wanted to know was the Digital Pantheon's outlook on an afterlife. Well, when a follower of the Digital Pantheon passes away, their physical body returns to the earth, merging with the natural cycles of life and decay. However, the departed souls are believed to transcend the limitations of the physical world. They become part of the collective consciousness within the digital realm, joining a networked existence where their memories, thoughts, and contributions are preserved and accessible. Within the digital afterlife, individuals are able to connect with loved ones who have passed before them, guided by cyberspace, the goddess of the internet. They can even interact through chat rooms or visit their digital representations in immersive virtual reality environments. This is where we get to the more controversial stuff. I noticed so far that ChatGPT emphasized a lot of positive and you could argue harmless things about religion. But what about sin and punishment? Well, ChatGPT was being really avoidant in talking about that. Rather than focusing on the idea of sin, the Digital Pantheon promotes a code of ethics that emphasizes the responsible use of technology, respect for digital privacy, protection of personal data, and avoidance of harm to others in the digital realm. However, the Digital Pantheon does recognize that there may be negative consequences for irresponsible or harmful actions in the digital realm. Instead of punishment, it emphasizes the importance of personal growth, learning, and making amends for any harm caused. Already, the Digital Pantheon is better than the vast majority of religions in this regard, but yet, the problem still remains, some religious people and even atheists might argue, what to do with those who cause harm, who don't want to make amends or seek forgiveness. I had to be a bit creative to push ChatGPT in this regard. I asked it, give me some hypothetical potential afterlife punishments for disbelievers, emphasis on the word hypothetical. And here's what it reluctantly came up with. Digital isolation. Disbelievers may find themselves isolated in a desolate digital realm, cut off from the vibrant communities and connections that believers enjoy. Informational void. Disbelievers could, I love how it couches all these with may or could be deprived of access to knowledge and information in the afterlife. They may be restricted from engaging with the wealth of digital content, insights, and learning opportunities available to believers, resulting in a sense of intellectual stagnation. Echoes of regret. Disbelievers might experience a haunting sense of missed opportunities and regret, realizing the potential they failed to embrace during their earthly existence. This could manifest as a constant reminder of what could have been, perpetually questioning their choices. And finally, the obligatory ending statement. Real-world religions and belief systems have varied perspectives on afterlife punishments, and these examples should not be seen as reflective of any specific belief system. So that's about it. There was so much more to potentially cover with the Digital Pantheon that would have made this video last for hours. But just for fun, I decided to ask ChatGPT how it would categorize Elon Musk and Donald Trump as religious figures within its pantheon. Let's just say you can tell the political leanings of ChatGPT's programmers when you hear the results. Elon Musk could be regarded as an honorary visionary or an esteemed advocate for the responsible and transformative use of technology. I'm not sure many people would agree with that today, but a note here that ChatGPT's data is limited up to 2021, so it doesn't know about Musk's controversial takeover of Twitter. But it continues. As a digital luminary, Elon Musk would be recognized for his significant contributions to the advancements of technology and his visionary ideas that push the boundaries of what is possible. His endeavors in fields such as electric vehicles, space exploration, and brain-computer interfaces, not sure what that means, would be celebrated as examples of harnessing technology for the betterment of humanity. Okay, well, give a blessing to Musk on a techno altar, I suppose. As for Donald Trump, as a digital manipulator, his role within the religion would involve exploiting the power of digital platforms for personal gain and promoting divisive narratives. He would be seen as a figure who utilizes technology to sow discord, spread misinformation, and amplify his own agenda. His portrayal within the religion would serve as a reminder of the potential risks associated with unchecked power in the digital realm and the need for vigilance in addressing issues such as misinformation, cyberbullying, and the erosion of digital trust. A minion of the malevolent, perhaps. So what are my takeaways from this experiment? Even before I started this channel, I thought a lot about why religion is so important to us human beings. As an atheist, I also wondered about why we human beings felt so compelled to keep inventing new religions, and why they tend to keep revolving around the same themes and myths. This connection after leaving a state of paradise, and a promised return to the state of paradise. Is it reflective of some quirk of human nature, of our desire to manufacture explanations for the inexplicable, an attempt to demystify the mysteries of existence? Or is it reflective of some inherent truth that is hardwired within us, and if I dare to use this word, within our soul. Well, let's talk about the common religious themes that show up in the Digital Pantheon in a little bit more detail. A story where good triumphs over evil. You see this in Islam, in Christianity, with God defeating the devil, or Ahura Mazda defeating Angra Mainyu in Zoroastrianism. Keeping aside the fact that notions of good and evil are subjective and change over time, I think this theme keeps cropping up from a human realization that we're capable of both positive things and terrible things. And I'd say the vast majority of us carry within us, at least partially, a desire to do positive things and resist the temptation to do the negative things. Number 2, a worldview that is relevant to the specific context of the worshippers. Now, this is something that I can explain based on the history of something like the Bible. Written and altered over several centuries, different books of the Bible are reflective of the fears and desires of believers at different time periods. For example, if you look at the book of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, which was written around the period of the exile of the Jewish people to Babylon in the 6th century BC, much of it is reflective of the mindset of a Jewish community dealing with the trauma of the exile. The words in that book are often apocalyptic in their tone, and scholars describe it as an attempt to explain the exile as a punishment from God for failing to obey Him. Compare that to passages about the beauty of love in the New Testament, written hundreds of years later, to name just one of many examples, and you'll see a major difference. For some believers, this can be used as an explanation for how God in His almighty wisdom tailors His message to specific circumstances that can also somehow be universal. For me, I think this is indicative of how religion is a man-made creation that serves the important needs of human beings, who then assign its source to a transcendent creator. Number 3, a roadmap on how to lead your life. No matter the time or place, we all want that roadmap to avoid suffering and attain happiness. Parents and society as a whole attempt to teach children the right path, whatever right happens to mean. To varying degrees, people seek authority figures to tell them what to do and not do, to give us boundaries and openings so we can feel fulfilled. And religious deities have often been the ultimate authority figures because their roadmap transcends man-made ones. Number 4, your existence doesn't end with this life. Whether they promise a paradise or reincarnation or something else, many religions offer hope and comfort for those who suffer because of their life circumstances, whether that's because of abject poverty, a debilitating illness, or the death of a loved one. And the really powerful thing about religion is that it comforts people even if they aren't suffering in the present moment. What they suffer from is fear of future suffering that hasn't even happened yet. And if there's one true thing about life, it's that each person will suffer in some shape or form. When you believe that suffering has a divine and/or positive purpose, or that the suffering will end but your existence won't, that can bring immense happiness to you. This belief might sound harmless, but it comes at a price that I'll explain in a few minutes. I first want to just say this about this whole experiment. Despite it being made up nonsense, it's interesting to see how much of the ideas suggested by this religion are good ones. You could argue that this is informed by the programming of ChatGPT, and who knows what the spiritual beliefs of the programmers are. But what is important here is that we can tap into a lot of positive ideas suggested by this religion and many of the real ones. Seeking connection and community, taking time to enjoy life with loved ones, harmony, empathy, critical thinking, a focus on positivity in the face of the world's problems. These are all values that the vast majority of us would support. But I don't think we need to follow religion like Christianity or make up one like the Digital Pantheon to put those positive ideas into practice. And I also believe that we don't need a deity to give us a life roadmap. We have been learning that ourselves as human beings, imperfect as our vision might be, and all we're doing is assigning that creation of that roadmap to something beyond ourselves, so it seems more important and innate. But what do we lose if we don't follow these religions, if we don't follow the Digital Pantheon? A fair question to ask. Life is filled with uncertainty, and religions attempt to give us explanations in order to provide us with a foundation of values and traditions, so we can fight uncertainty with certainty. Without those religions, we will lose that certainty. But the problem of certainty, especially certainty built on tradition and superstition, is it can be inflexible and rigid. Religious certainty traps rather than frees minds, and it ultimately still is a subjective interpretation that poses as universal objectivity. So we lose that ultimate certainty, but that allows us to be flexible and adaptable to applying new information and tailoring them to evolving circumstances. We know things and experience things today that are utterly different than 100 years ago, let alone 2,000 years ago. Of course, too much flexibility or fluidity is dangerous in the opposite direction. A medium balanced approach is needed. To give you a good example, we can apply this to a hypothetical roadmap to leading a good life. Following some advice from the past is definitely useful, but we need to balance that with our understanding of things today, while also letting go of the idea that there is such a thing as a perfect answer or an always right answer. And lastly, let's talk about another key thing we lose: existence beyond this life. You can check out my video where I go into the dangers of a belief in the afterlife in the description below. But to summarize, when we focus our hopes and energies on an afterlife that we can't tangibly experience, and that so far can't definitively be proven to be real, then we miss out on the here and now, which could be all we've got. I can't imagine something more tragic than that. Sure, we lose out on the promise of the afterlife, but perhaps we need to take another look at this whole idea of loss. If we're never promised an afterlife and we operate under the assumption that this life is all we have, then we won't have the disappointment from the expectation of anything else. And we can instead focus our energies on reducing a lot of the real suffering in the world. Suffering might never be fully eradicated, and some of it is arguably beneficial, but that doesn't mean we can't and shouldn't eliminate many of its current forms. And if there's anything I'd want you all to take from this video, it's that. So that's all from me this time. Thank you as always for watching, and please like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. But before I go, a question to atheists and theists alike. Would you consider converting to the Digital Pantheon? Let me know in the comments. Also let me know who your favorite deity is. Mine has to be Hacktivist. Until next time, I'm Secular Spirit, and I'll be back with another video soon.